What's up, guys? It's your tour from the Iron Skillet. We're back here with another side dish on a Sunday for you guys. And today we're going to talk about if you're a leader or a manipulator. Trav, you a leader or a manipulator?
I feel like I've never heard those two like in like a sentence. It's either like are you a leader or a follower?
See, I'm going to show you how those two things go together.
You know, that's funny because I feel like you could be both.
Could be
Like,
both.
I feel like a manipulator could be a leader, and a leader could be a manipulator.
Could.
But isn't a manipulator like a bad version
It's
of a
bad,
leader?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's bad.
Right, of course.
You don't want to
It
be a
sounds
manipulator.
bad.
So I wrote this down because I was literally in the shower listening to this podcast with a guy that I've already read his book, Jocko Willink, and we talked about it. It's Extreme Ownership. It's a really good book about leadership. Highly recommend it. But he was pretty much talking about like one of the guys from Impact Theory, Tom Bilyeu. He was trying to get across a question about how do I get my employees to do A, B, or C, and he was like, well. First, you have to think about, like, are you trying to lead them or manipulate them into doing it? And he said, this is what I wrote this down, because he said manipulation and leading are the same thing. In both cases, I'm trying to get you to do something. And he said, but with manipulation, I'm trying to get you to do something that directly benefits me. And he said, in leading, I'm trying to get you to do something that benefits us as a team. Which I was like, in the shower, I was like, mind blown.
Facts.
And I was like trying to get to my notes and like type it down before I forgot, because I was like, this would be dope to talk about on the podcast. And I just feel like this is an awesome topic because I don't know, I think a lot about management in my lifetime and like different managers I've had, or like teachers or coaches, and it's like if you've had a bad leader, I feel like you know what it feels like to have this happen to you.
I've had manipulators my whole life.
I was like, I only know manipulators. Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't feel good. Like,
No, like I feel like even like in high school, I feel like my teachers were just doing it to get a paycheck.
yeah.
They're doing it for themselves.
Yeah. You didn't feel like.
Damn, you didn't have any nice teachers?
One, maybe, two.
I feel it. What about you, Brandon? Just not even teachers, but coaches, bosses, like.
Oh, coaches too. I got a coach story. And
Oh,
that's
I
huge.
feel
well,
like
let's
I feel like I've had a lot of leaders, like a lot of genuinely good people who I felt were out for my best interest.
What's your bad manipulation story? You say you have a bad one?
For coaching, yeah, that's why. This is like why I quit like organized sports.
Okay, let me hear it.
Without naming names.
Yeah.
I know. All right, whatever.
It's all right.
Well, I was playing baseball, and the coach's son's always a pitcher.
Yeah.
I was a pitcher too, and that motherfucker.
Never
Wow.
played you?
I never played. I mean, he played me one time when his kid was his kid threw 1 strike and 3 balls. He put me in. I threw 2 strikes. Last out.
Oh,
So-
that was it.
So I finished that inning for his son. Next inning, guess who he puts back on the mound? His son.
Dang. So
Whoa.
you
I quit that day.
really,
Yep.
because you were like, this is BS.
This is bullshit. I just got your son out of this shithole of a situation, and you're gonna put him back in, bro. I just threw 2 strikes without him pitching
There's
all
a lot
day.
of favoritism in Parks and Rec. Like, you
Yes.
got to move up into the.
What? A lot of favoritism. Yeah, I couldn't
There's
because
favoritism in it.
I couldn't because I got the bad taste in my mouth. I'm like,
you
know what?
said,
Fuck
no,
this shit.
I'm not
He
about
doesn't
it.
even want to switch teams or find a new coach. He's like, I'm done.
Picked up,
Over baseball.
picked up a skateboard and never had a coach
I was
again.
about to say, you saying baseball and you actually being a pitcher, like, really surprised me. I'm like, he's
I was-
never told me that
I
ever.
was a good pitcher.
I believe it.
Wow.
2 strikes. You probably have
was
a
a
great
beast.
record.
We're going to get an Iron Skillet baseball game going.
I'm too old for that now.
Wouldn't that be a cool charity thing?
That would be.
I know we
Let's
just got off
definitely.
topic,
It's
but-
okay. We'll lock it in. But have you guys ever been in a situation at anything, job, sports, whatever, where you're the person in charge is trying to like manipulate you into doing something? Like, I've felt that way where like sometimes someone's trying to get me to do something and I know that it's not for the reason that they're telling me. Have you ever had that feeling?
I don't know if I've ever had that feeling, but I think maybe sometimes a manager could approach things a little direct instead of going about it in like when I was managing Finish Line, I was big on like leading by example. So if I'm gonna tell you to fold some shirts, like a big old stack of them, I'm gonna be like, all right, look, fold a couple, boom, knock it out. Kind of showing that I'm not afraid to put in the work as well.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't think I've ever had that type of situation in the workplace.
I might need an example.
So like
Maybe
for
that'll jog my memory.
to jog your memory. So
I can't
like,
think of any like.
I mean, for manipulation, a good example of that is like, I wouldn't say it's manipulation, but let's say that like you are trying to get your employee to do this deadline, right? Let's say you're giving them this deadline and they're telling, and you as the employee are like, I'm not, this is the example the guy gave. He wasn't saying it was manipulation, but it was bad leadership quality. He was like, you're giving them the deadline. They're trying to tell you, like, it's not working. Like, and he said, a bad leader will just tell the person, yes, it is, get it done. And he was like, that's not good leadership. You're not helping the person figure out how to actually achieve the goal. You're just giving them, telling them to do something with no tools or ideas of how to like actually achieve it if they truly feel like they can't. And he said leadership, a good example of leadership is if this person, you give someone a deadline and they say, no, I can't do it. And you say, okay, why can't you? Like, what are the reasons why? And if they say, like, we can't do it because it's going to take however many days to get it shipped. Like, okay, is there a different way that we can get it shipped? Can we get it from a different company? Like, instead of just shutting someone down, telling them, no, you're wrong, do it like I told you, you work your way backwards and help them figure out the answer to their problem.
That is a good leader.
Right?
That is not a manipulator.
Exactly. I feel like to, not to Travis's point, but I feel like a lot of times in life, I don't know, it's not that it's been a lot of times, but I feel like in life, sometimes people get put in positions of leadership with no actual skills on how to lead, you know? And you can see things just unfolding horribly in front of you from a job standpoint. And you're like, well, no wonder, because this person is not taking the leadership role seriously.
Right.
And they're not actually like helping us figure any of this out. It's just like, you guys go do that.
I think
School
for
Literally. They just give you busy work. Like, here, go do that. Like,
Could be.
That's why I hated school. Fucking busy work.
I feel like for a lot of, not, I say for people that aren't meant to teach, that's 100% right. There are some people that are great teachers that I think are not like that. Like, a great example, first person that comes to mind, Ashley's mom. Literally wants to do nothing more than teach earth science to ninth grade high school students. Don't know why, but she's like so passionate about it. And she will literally sit with people during lunch, like during her break, and teach them. And she'll pull them out of study hall to make sure that they have all the opportunity in the world to do a good job. That's like a good example.
there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah. But then you have some people who are just going to be like, oh, sorry, you don't understand. I had teachers like that, too. They also embarrassed me in front of my class when I asked a question. I was like, you're not a good leader. You're a bad example.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's definitely, I don't know. I feel like leadership is by high, like, performance level people. It's taken seriously. Like, people who really want to achieve and, like, go places either in their career or in life, they take leadership seriously and they try to learn about how to be a good leader and learn how to manage people. And I feel like I wish that was like more. I wish I saw that more.
I feel like good leaders, or if you want to compare it to managers in the workplace, I feel like they care about their employees or their team, so to speak. They show I don't even know if you want to go as far as compassion, but they're asking them like, "How you feeling today?" You know what I mean? Things like that.
Oh, for sure.
Really trying to bring them up, and I'm big on leading by example. I feel like even in here, when I'm engineering somebody and they come in, sometimes just helping walk them through the process. Like, all right, we're gonna do this take, do this. You ever done it in the lines? All right, we'll try this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sometimes I don't know. like I was saying earlier, you can approach, having to ask somebody to do something one way or another. It could be, you could be real direct with it, and you're not going to get the right vibes off said manager or leader.
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like this last story just popped in my head because probably one of the best leaders in sport on the court. I've been seeing a lot, obviously, with Kobe Bryant, everything that's happened. I've heard a lot of stories in the past week. And one of the stories that he talked about this specifically in an interview, he was like, you have to understand how to motivate the people that you work with because you can't motivate everybody the same way. You have to understand what makes them excited and what makes them tick. And he was saying, some of my teammates like to go out and party. And he's like, it's common sense that if we have a game the next day, nobody should be going out and partying and drinking. He's like, but the thing is, me just telling this person just don't go out, don't drink, that's not going to work. He's like, so what did I do? He's like, I told him, you want to go out? You want to party? I'm going to go out with you. We're going to party. He's like, but you're going to do what I want to do tomorrow. And so we go out. He's like, we party, we stay out till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. He said 5 o'clock in the morning. He's like, I'm knocking on his door, and he opens the door, and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, now it's time to do what I want to do. We're going to the gym. And he's like, I hung out with you. I turned up with you. Now it's your turn to hang out with me. And he's like, I did that with him one time, and I never had that problem again. Like, he's like, never became an issue. And it's just like, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's good leadership other than just being like, I'm going to complain about how everyone's going out and drinking. You guys shouldn't do that. That's stupid. He's like, all right, I'm actually going to like get you to change your behavior. I'm going to lead you to do the right thing.
I think right there is the definition of leadership, that story in itself.
100%.
There's also a lesson in it. Just don't ask your boss to go out drinking with you.
Just don't.
He's their teammate. I mean, technically, he kind of was
Team
the
captain,
boss.
right?
Yeah.
Team captain. No, but just in essence, I thought this would be a good topic because I feel like thinking about if you are a leader, if you're a captain of a team, you're a leader of a team, or you're like in management, thinking about how you interact with the people that you work with and like the ways that you go about getting things done and making people believe in your vision is important. So don't be a manipulator, be a leader.
Get your shit together.
This is the Iron Skillet. Sunday side dishes. We will see you next Sunday. Peace.